Hey guys, what is up? NYKia31 here, Madden 21, and it's that time of year again, new start of the Madden year, and we are going to begin our coverage breakdown series. And I am going to start it off with the match coverages, starting out with cover four, quarters, and palms. I'm going to try to keep these a little shorter than I did the past couple of years per video. Key emphasis on the word try because there's a lot to cover. The number one thing that I heard a lot last year, especially as the players, if you're a MUT guy, as the players got better throughout the year and their coverage abilities got better, the most common thing I heard is that, cover four, palms, and quarters works. I don't understand why, but they work. Well, this year we're going to solve that for you. You're going to understand why and how the coverage works, why it works, and how to attack it. And we're going to start out basic. We're going to start out with the 2x2 in quarters and palms, and then another video will be devoted towards trips, shotgun close, split close, gun bunch. The trips and the close sets is where you find the bulk of your bugs that you got to make adjustments in order to counter, and all of that good stuff, and stuff that needs to be patched, which should be coming in the within that 30-day update time frame. So keep that in mind. And again, it's going to be personnel dependent as well. Better personnel you have in your coverage, better you're going to play. The more mismatches you have against guys who are running routes against you, the harder it's going to be. I mean, I'm playing with the Jets here. You know, you don't have a whole heck of a lot of talent, but if you got route ability receivers like the Julio Joneses, the Mike Evans, and the DeAndre Hopkins of the world, you're gonna get beat on stuff if you don't have the guys who can keep up, which you should. That no one should ever complain about it. But we want to make sure that the concepts are right, understood, and they're playing out right, correct in the game. So I'm just here in a nickel quarter set, and as far as the basics of quarters coverage, you see here's a two deep shell, and as a base defense, it allows you pretty good fit support. You have four down linemen and two linebackers in the box, and you also have your safeties out of a two deep alignment involved in the fits as well. So you have, from a two deep shell, you have six dudes in the box and both safeties for an 8-man run fit, which is useful for your spread running game defense, inside zone, QB power, and ISO zone read, and you can move these guys into the box, if you will, to get them close to their line of scrimmage. And what's nice about this, again, about that two deep structure, is that they will match also vertical routes. So you have your safeties and fit support, as well as the ability to match vertical routes in man-to-man coverage. And if the routes by the receivers that they're accountable for run underneath, they have the ability to play deep, play bracket coverage on routes, and all of that good stuff. But again, matchup dependent. The drawback of this scheme is that because your safeties are in fit support, they are vulnerable to play action pass. Now, in the beta, or from the notes from the beta, they mentioned that they tuned the AI responsiveness to play action. Honestly, I did not notice that being a factor in the beta at all, so that remains to be seen. I haven't noticed it. If that is in the game, that's fine. Defenders should be susceptible to play action pass. That's what you have a play recognition and awareness rating for, and then you have your user and all that good stuff. So the safeties have to be athletic, they have to be rangy, they have to be able to fit the run and play in space. So let's reset that. We'll move them back to their proper depth now. So, Let's talk about the roles of the players. The safeties are reading the number 2 receiver to their side. If number 2 runs vertical, they play the number 2 receiver man-to-man, whether he's going straight up the field vertical, whether he's running deep inside, deep outside, man-to-man all the way across the field. The outside corners, they play man on their deep receivers. If the receivers run under, they drop back to their quarter zones. The quarter flat defenders, they are charged with getting a reroute on number 2, providing a cushion between the receiver and the safety. Again, think about it. A safety isn't as skilled in space, generally speaking, as a corner, so you don't want to allow that seamer to run free down the field. You want to obstruct him, push him, and give that safety ample time to read that route. He then works out to the flat area. And of course, in the real world, he'd be watching the eyes of the QB and be on the alert for shallow cross and all of that. Same thing with the quarter flat on this side. The 3 receiver hook, he's the sole player underneath, the sole true zony player. He is responsible for the underneath first crosser, coming over the middle underneath in that 5-yard area. He opens up to the strong side of the formation. In this case, the 3 receiver side is the side to the back. So he'd be on the alert for the back coming out on a circle route, angle route, things of that nature. On a straight 4 verts, it's very straightforward. Everyone just runs straight. It's just straight vertical coverage. You see the reroute and the depth he wants to carry is usually between 8 to 10. Doesn't really sink all that far back, but at least it gets a jam on him. He opens up. He gets a good width and depth. That's perfect. Collision detection is a little bit of a problem there, isn't it? Back does not come out of the backfield, so he opens up toward the middle of the field. Let's say the back does open up. Let's say the back does come out. Let's say the back does come out right away. Out route. Let's say the back. Let's say that the back does come out of the backfield. Let's put him just on a quick out route. You'll see the quarter flat jump down on him, like so. Now again, just to demonstrate the movement of the safeties, it's man coverage no matter the route, as long as it's in vertical. Vertical is anything 10 yards or greater. So again, man to man, as you see there, and it's a matchup game from that point. You saw previously he covered the out route man-to-man. If they run a streak and a square in, he's on that as well, man-to-man. And the nice thing is he has help here with all this traffic. You gotta throw a touch pass over this. And you got the quarter flat sitting there as well. So unless he just has the time to wait for him to clear all that, there you go. You know, same thing if it's a tight end. You know, it becomes a matchup game. That's the whole point of match coverage. Match coverage allows you to play the most realistic representation of modern defense that this game allows you to play. You relate to routes, you close off airspace. The best antidote to spread out offense is either tight man coverage, combination zone, pattern match zone coverage. I am not in 2020 gonna play spot drop, landmark, high school football defense. Not gonna do it. I refuse to. I've transitioned to playing match coverage when they were started being introduced into the game, starting in, I want to say, Madden 17 with cover 3 match. You know, and even high school teams, they play match coverage now. They don't play it to the complicated degree as far as various checks are concerned that you get in the college football and the NFL world for obvious reasons. But no one is playing 100%, you know, country zone coverage at the college and NFL level. They're just not. Or you'd be giving up 500 yards passing every game. Even the Seahawks, they play, you know, pattern read mixed in with man one and match coverage in their single high cover 3 scheme. There's a lot of checks in that. Otherwise, as Nick Saban was famous for saying, you know, you can play landmark zone coverage all you want, but when an elite quarterback is throwing it and you're trying to just break on the ball, good luck to you. So anyway, now if guys go under, it's just straight zone. So I'm going to put Perryman here on a drag. Corner releases him, and now he's free to bracket. Here's here down the seam. So again, this is one of the few coverages in the game that allows you to truly double team receivers. Under, releases it. Now you got bracket coverage here on the seam. So if you have a bad matchup there at that slot, you can give him some help. Now there's all kinds of traffic there. Now he won't match him across the field. Again, he's playing in his quarter zone. Passes him off, and now he's going underneath, but he's going inside. So then he just stays back to his quarter. Now the safeties don't bracket all the time as well as I would like. Sometimes they can go into drift through land. Like for example, I'm gonna go play action read. So we have double post here on your right, and we have a vertical release, a deep comeback, and a whip route underneath to your left. You know, not the best transition here in the world, but again, it's matchup based, and plus he has a lot of distance to cover. That's a tough cover. Now, if I was playing this as a user, I would cushion this a little further. Ideally, he wants to wall off that crosser a little deeper for that very reason. Number 2 receiver, he's underneath, so now he can drop back. And he can do a couple of things. He can either attack that, since that's the first receiver in his line of sight, but he drifts back, which helps out in this case because this is a one-on-one post shot here otherwise. So I don't really have much of an argument with that. I have much more of an argument with the fact that once he opens up, he needs to wall off this crosser a little bit better, as opposed to letting him just cross. Now it's really nice. Let's say you like to play a healthy dose of cover 2, and someone's wearing you out with smash, for example. You can play quarters, and again, when number 1 goes under, the corner is going to sink back to play a deep quarter, and he's going to be there for that corner route along with the safety. And with this route by the tight end here, it's not quite vertical, so you should have a bracket there on that post route. Jesus Christ, Jets. Come on. Good Lord. Again, beta issue, attacking the ball. They're in the right spot, but if both of them don't attack the ball, what good is it? Sink back. They're right there. Both you fools just gotta do something. How do neither one of you do anything? Good Lord. There you go, you knuckleheads. Now on the other side, this route is not quite vertical. It's about what, 6 to 8 yards or so? So he's running into the 3-rec. The seam flat chases him across the field, which he really does not have to do. Now, because he has no vertical route, now you got a bracket here on this post route. The danger here, if you want to beat quarters coverage over the top, one of the ways to do it is with the Mills concept. You run a square in at that safety deep, and that isolates the corner who has no help inside anymore. And if your corner is dog crap and the receiver is better, that's going to happen to you. Now you can play press quarters, and the nice thing about press quarters is that you don't have those damn two-handed chuck animations anymore, which frees your receiver. But there is a problem, which you'll see on the smash side. Let me get Herndon on the deep end to isolate the post route. But you'll see that when you press him up, he kind of sticks on the under, and you have space for the corner route. And again, your safety just has to be good enough to make the play, or that's going to happen to him. But it gives you a little bit more protection against being bombed by the post shot if you have a good, press coverage matchup there. It's a little tighter, but again, I have bad corners. So yeah, just got to be mindful of matchups against that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's one way to get your bomb shot. Another good way is with double post. And, it becomes a matchup game. That's really tough on the safety there. That over route is tough for the safety. You have to square in as well, and you have your two post shots there. So everyone's isolated vertical. And the 3-rec wasn't really quite sure what to do. Again, he has to provide a bit of a buffer on that over route. But he's conflicted because he has multiple guys crossing at him. There's the quarter flat. Here's the safety. Here's a 3-rec. There's multiple guys crossing, and he kind of just stops. He needs to wall off a little bit better than that. Again, he's got to provide some type of protection. Then you have your one-on-one post shots here. You got 2 of them. And, you know, Jamison Crowder is the best route runner on the Jets by a mile, so they don't have a matchup for him. And I like that. I like it's not just a pure track meet. Ooh, Brashad Perryman. Who's that? That's Austin? Hung with them pretty well. But again, you see that they're just not that great. They're not good players. I mean, Desir's okay. So, you know, just find your best matchup and route runners versus their coverage guys. And again, if you got the horses, you can press them up. But sometimes you'll get beat. So, you know, again, just be mindful of matchups. And you can combinate. You can play one guy press, one guy off. You can press the slot guy too a little bit closer if you want to do that. I mean, you know your personnel and you know your matchups, so you should. And, you know, play accordingly. Corner strikes, another one. Now what you saw there, you saw a good bracket to the outside with corner strike. What I thought would happen is that this guy getting pushed would sucker in the safety to think that it's a vertical, and he would follow him, leaving a one-on-one shot here. But he goes a double team, and there's some space there, but the corner knocks it out. I think bracket, the ball's already out. Ignore this here. The ball's already out. The play's already over. Again, bracket, because again, there's an under here, so he has no vertical. He can go bracket. I like to see them commit to that more aggressively to really make someone pay for trying to throw that in there. Because if you time it right, you can kind of get a one-on-one shot there still. So it needs to be more aggressive. As soon as you don't see a number one, as soon as you don't see a vertical by number 2, bust your ass over there and help. See, that time, the safety to the left went inside a little bit deeper. I think it's because of the fact that he gets pushed out a little bit more. He's kind of thinking to myself, okay, he could be running vertical. He might not be. He looks at him and then goes over. Like if I dragged him, he probably does not do that. Yeah, he goes over there right away. So just stuff like that. Now, when I play a heavy dose of quarters, a lot of guys will try to attack the underneath on me and run multiple slants, because why not? You only have one underneath hook defender, the 3-rec. Or the way the user is, just pick a side. So what I'll do there is I will man up both corners. Like, this is really nice on those 3rd and 5, 4th and 5 areas. And I'll press them. And then hope my corners don't suck. One guy did a good job, the other one didn't. Again, personnel. But again, it's the concept. You just gotta watch out, because if you do that, again, the safety is gonna be all by himself. Anything breaking by number 2 vertical. Flanker dig is nice as well. Hit that curl. Got a drag coming through. See in the drag, it's a catch and run situation. And you're fine giving that up until you really want to take it away. And if you want to really obstruct drags, again, tight man coverage. You can play man coverage this year. You can put a guy in the hole like so. That's a tight window there. You gotta really be careful as far as how you time that. Like, I'm looking for that quarter flat defender coming down, and I'm releasing it right now. This play right here, this shakes HB corner, is a good quarters beater as well. I'm in the Jets playbook, by the way. Again, you want to look for similar concepts like these in your playbooks if you're facing a heavy dose of quarters and you want to get down the field and isolate guys one-on-one for, big plays. Deep post shot for post by Perryman. You got Bell looking out of the backfield on a corner route. Shake route by Crowder. Herndon is wheeling. Hogan running a post. A lot of stuff to recognize. This is actually an excellent job walling this off here. Chucks him. And what happens here is that this develops so late, is that they both go to the post. Bell goes to the corner all by himself, and you got your tight end here wheeling out one-on-one, and the safety here gets caught flat-footed a little bit. And Hogan just outruns it. Le'Veon Bell specking on him. That's a problem. Both safeties should not be getting out-leveraged like that over the middle so easily. Alright, you can attack the sidelines as well. Because again, it's man coverage, so just remember your man beaters. Alright, cover 4 palms. Easiest way that I can describe cover 4 palms is that it allows you to play quarters, match quarters, and trapped 2, what the game calls cover 2 sync, in one coverage. The difference is that it actually plays cover 2 sync properly. Now, I have to explain to you how cover 2 sync is supposed to play and how it plays in this game, so you guys can appreciate the difference. We're going to call cover 2 sync. I'm just going to come out and double post again. Now, cover 2 sync, or trap 2, is supposed to be a pattern matching cover 2, but it's never been right. I've been telling them this for a few years now. It's a read coverage for the corner, meaning that he's going to play match coverage on number 1 vertical. If number 2 goes vertical, everything is the same as well. So we're running double post here, and everything is what it should be as far as route distribution is going, as far as concerned. If number 1 and number 2 are both vertical, they're playing pattern match cover 2. Vertical, he takes him man-to-man across the field, and of course he lets him across his face, which we'll get to why that's a problem in a little bit. And who is it? Was this Mosley? He did a phenomenal job. And he carries him. Now, of course, that creates a vacated area when this vertical hook drops back, you know, for the underneath over route here. He has to close on that, which he does a bad job of doing. And because this guy is running free, running vertical, there's all this space here. Do it. You know, you got to relate the routes and try to close the space off. Now, if number 2 goes to the flat, again, it's a 2 read coverage. The corner's reading number 2. If number 2 goes to the flat, the corner is going to trap the flat. Now, the safety is then supposed to climb and take number 1 vertical. But you see, he just lets him cross its face. Let's give myself more time here. He traps to the flat, but the safeties just let him cross. Here's the corner. And again, they cheat. We know that. The technique isn't the greatest. He turns his back and he knows that the flat route is coming. We get it. He traps to the flat. Now, because he traps to the flat, safety now has to climb and match top the post route. And you gotta do something, buddy. You gotta do something. What he needs to be doing here is gaining depth. Why are you going wide? Why? False steps. $10 to 12 yards at a minimum. 8 to 10 at a minimum, 10 to 12 ideal. I mean, multiple sins here. They both cross the face here. I mean, both of you just are useless. And again, It's match coverage on the outside. So you see a host of problems there. Cover 2 sync has never been right. Now, we're on the same play with palms. Again, just straight, same play. It's identical to quarters. Everything's the same. No differences. It plays like quarters. It's still a 2-read coverage where everyone goes vertical, so they play like match quarters. Now, if I send number 2 to the flat, again, it's a 2-read coverage between the corner and the safety. The corner is looking to trap number 2 to the flat, and the safety takes number 1 vertical. Trap at the flat, and they do it right. And again, we know about this here. We went over that when we ran the same play in quarters. But what you see here is trap 2 played right. So you're basically playing a combination coverage with this particular route combination. You're playing match quarters on this side, and you're playing trap 2 on this side. And you have this type of route combination. And he actually plays it with better technique. You square, traps a flat, climb to match the vertical. That's palms. 2-read, corner takes number 2 to the flat, safety takes number 1 vertical. That's palms, and that's really the biggest difference between that and quarters versus 2x2. There's more differences when you're up against trip sets and compression, and I'll go into those in another video. But that's part 1, just some basics. Hope you guys enjoyed that. More coming, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.